Welcome back to Gun Locker 75. Today we are decked out in our Vice Grip garage gear. Love that channel. And we're here to do last 5 guns I would ever sell, part 2. I'm doing a part 2 because after thinking about it and going back and looking at the first video, there's only one gun that still remains the same. So 4 out of the 5 have already changed in my mind. Either A, I've changed my mind, or B, I've gotten some new guns since then that have taken over. So why not film another one? Seems to be kind of popular. I love watching them myself, so we are here to film our last 5 guns. So if I wiped out the entire collection, what 5 would remain? Let's get started. This is, and like I've said in the past, you can base this off of several different reasons. You know, 5 that your favorite 5 to shoot, sentimental. I'm not. I'm going to say that I'm not necessarily basing it off of anything in particular. So I'm not doing sentimental. I just literally looked at it and said, what 5 would I have to have if I wiped it all out right now? And here's the 5 I came up with, and I thought you might be interested. So we might as well start off with the P320 Scorpion. This is a new gun to the collection. Do have a separate recent video on it. I just absolutely love shooting this handgun. This thing feels amazing. It's got the AXG aluminum lower grip as opposed to the polymer. So we got an all metal gun, which I prefer. I have the loopholed Delta Point Pro on top. Thing is just wherever the dot is, the bullet goes. I'm really digging optics now. It's just such a great shooting gun that this is my #1 favorite handgun to shoot right now. And if I just had to take care of business, protect myself, whatever, I just can't see living without this handgun right now. So first up is the P320 AXG Scorpion in 9mm. It's hard to, yeah, there it is. There it is. All right, let's put her on the table. Next, it's so hard when you're going down to 5. Next, we are going to go with the Colt SP1 from 1975. This one's starting to be featured in quite a few videos. This is my all-time bucket list AR. I don't need another AR, I just need this one. So it's got to be on the list. Last time we had the Daniel Defense. Great choice, great AR. But it's not this AR. So #2 is this bad boy. Same year I was born, Gun Locker 75. We have a 1975 SP1 Colt. Got your 20-inch barrel, got your carry handle, original Colt mag. Freaking love this thing. Could not imagine not owning this gun at this point. So that is #2. #3, I love 10mm. You've seen this one featured. This is the Smith & Wesson 1006. Old school, you know, FBI series of guns in the late 80s, early 90s. And as you can tell, it's also an all metal gun. That's what I prefer. But I can't see me not having a 10 millimeter. So we are gonna have to have a 10 millimeter. Just gotta have it. Single stack 10 millimeter, 9+1. Just smooth. Got your decocker. You got your magazine disconnect that I dislike because this was possibly going to be an FBI gun. You know, it isn't the one they chose. They ended up choosing the 1076, but I like this one the best out of all the models that they have. 5-inch barrel. Just a man's gun here. All right. That's 3 out of 5 knocked down. Let's make a little room. I don't have an optic on it right now. I took it off and I need to buy something that suits this rifle, but the Scar 17 or the Scar Heavy or the 17S and 308. We've seen this on the channel too, but man, it's just, they're overpriced, you know, and some would be like, I don't know what the hype is. I don't know, they're just so cool, man. I love shooting this gun. Like I've said in a previous video, I have about $2,000 wrapped up into this one, as opposed to, you know, 3, 4, 5 grand that maybe some people have into theirs. So for $2,000, I think it's well worth it. Would I pay $4,000 for this gun? No, I wouldn't. But for what I have into it, I love it, and I think it's a great gun, and love shooting it. And it's just freaking so cool looking too, you know. But I just can't see not having this as well. So I kind of got my rifles covered. I got my pistols covered. This bad boy is definitely one of my favorites. I got rid of all my AR-10s once I got this rifle, and I had some nice AR-10s, but it was kind of like once I got this gun, man, for me it was the holy grail, and it was like I don't have a need for any other 308 battle rifles or AR-10s. This is all I need, is this one right here. So that's coming in at number 4. And if you heard at the beginning of the video, I said there was one gun that was a repeat. So unless you just freshly watched the first video, you're probably not sure what it could be even. Well, this one was a tough one. I would say, here, I'll add some extra flare into this. I heavily considered switching to the Sega 12 with the big old mag, you know. I mean, this Sega 12 is really hard to beat. I do love shooting this gun. And this was very close to being number 5, which would have been new. This was not in the first video. But we had to go back to the Remington Tac 13. This was in the first video, and it's the only gun that made it into part 2. And man, this thing is just so fun. It's the semi-auto version and the Remington version of the Shockwave. This one actually is a little bit shorter barrel. I'm trying to think. I should have been prepared. It's about a 1/2 inch shorter barrel, if I'm not mistaken, than the Shockwave. Of course, we got the SB tactical brace on the end, and this thing is just ridiculous. So it has once again made it into Last 5 part 2. So there, and we'll pan over this, is my final 5. I will throw something into the mix here. If I had to put another handgun into this and we were going to go non-metal, like if we were going to get into the polymer game, I have not shot this gun yet, and you'll be seeing a video on it soon. But this Steyr M9A2, if we're just going to base it off how it feels in the hand and how the trigger feels, I actually kind of like the goofy sights on it, the trapezoid sights. I could potentially see this being my favorite polymer handgun, even though I haven't shot it yet. It has the potential to be my favorite polymer. So, if I was going to switch one of these handguns out, well, I wouldn't switch the Scorpion, I can tell you that. As much as I love 10 millimeter, it would have to be this one. I could possibly swap. Man, I can't talk today. Could possibly switch it out for the Steyr. It feels amazing. If we're just basing it on feel alone, this gun feels unbelievable. I hope it shoots as well as it feels and looks. I love the way it looks too. I think it's just super cool looking. As you know, if you watch my channel, I'm a big fan of the Hudson H9, which that was hard not to have in here. This to me is like the polymer version of that kind of. Alright, well, let's pan over this whole deal and end this video. We pan over our choices here. We have the Remington Tac 13, the Scar 17, the Colt SP1 from 1975, the Steyr that we kind of could be, you never know, the Smith & Wesson 1006, and the Sig P320 Scorpion. Last 5 I would ever sell, part 2. Thanks for watching.